And Asian share makers pushing higher, really, as signs of progress in the Sino-US trade standoff have whetted risk appetites. Now, the US has actually postponed its next planned tariff hike. Holiday today, though, in Japan. As you can see, they're closed on the Nikkei, but rises right across the board, quite substantial ones. Kospi and Seoul, the biggest one there, over 1.4%. Well, let's cross then live to Bangkok, speak to head market strategist for Asia Pacific at Axietrader, Stephen Innes, joining us. Stephen, so a mini deal then to stave off more hikes at this stage, isn't it? But it's being seen as very good news and very optimistic.
I think it is. Stuart, we've got a protracted 18-month trade war. We finally have a tangible, at least phase one solution. Mind you, much of what was put forth wasn't much a big surprise for the markets. So I think this is why the market isn't overly phased in Asia today. Sure, sentiments remains positive, but it's not total risk on. I think investors still have this once bitten, twice shy, but it is hard to argue that things aren't moving in a positive direction. And I think this is what's key here, despite, we're hearing a lot of negativity in the background. Well, maybe we have to wait and see what happens. Things are moving forward. We've got a yuan accord on the table, which is going to be a significantly deterrent to neutralize or de-weaponize the yuan as a tariff offset. And look, even if these tariffs get taken off, this is good news for China's economy. What more could people expect? But, everybody wants more. We're moving on to phase two, then phase three. Let's see what has in store for the investment community as we move forward.
Stephen, the other big subject, which of course we keep getting positive news, then you get negative news, then it's positive again, is Brexit. I mean, presumably that's still going to be very closely followed this week on the markets there.
Yeah, the news over the weekend wasn't great. It just sounded like more confusion. Like we're being sort of taken down the garden path here, suggesting that, an agreement's coming up. But again, when it comes to this Irish backstop, this just becomes such a contentious issue. We don't know what's going to happen again. Markets are pretty much convinced we are heading in the right direction, but this Irish backstop could present a stumbling block. So we have to pay attention to what the headlines are telling us, what Boris Johnson, how aggressive he's going to be on this issue. And that's how we're going to approach the Brexit game once again.
Stephen, good to talk to you as ever on the programme. Stephen Innes there of Axietrader joining us from Bangkok.